Jenni Pullen. Pullen, Iowa, pursuing her dreams one day at a time in Des Moines. Jenni was a former YPC social media manager who was very active in the social media community. She's going to talk to you about her experience in social media over the last year. Please welcome Jenni to the stage.
Hello everyone, thank you. So it is true, I did disappear for 7 months from social media. The thing is, I was in Des Moines the whole time and no one had any idea. So tonight I'm going to talk about my breakup with social media and why. So as a people person, thank you, who loves technology, it didn't take long for me to fall in love with social media. Facebook and I started dating like 6 years ago. Recently, Twitter and I hooked up about 2 years ago. I walked around life like this woman, facing my BlackBerry the whole time, not engaging with others around me. Between my full-time job, part-time job, YPC, I was online all the time, and everything in my life could be documented in 140 characters or less. Until life happened. Storms hit, and the things that had happened in my life at that time, my grandpa had passed away, I lost my first pet, Bailey, financial issues, health scares, and it just hit me out of nowhere, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I escaped to social media, and I would rather read about your happy things in life. I felt like I was racing around, always online, always going back into histories of Twitter or Facebook, never really enjoying what was happening in the morning. In the mornings, I would check Facebook. First thing, had Twitter open all day long. The bear represents all of you. So the more that I share online, you're peeking into my personal life. So the more that I share, you're there watching. It got to a point where I didn't want to post what was going on in my life. I was sad, I was angry, I was mad, I was scared, and that did not match up to the brand that I had put out for myself. There were rainy days. It was sad, and I didn't want to bring you into that world. There's enough negative noise out in the world that I didn't want to add to that. So like I said, I escaped and would rather follow what you were all doing. Until one moment it hit me that that is exactly what happened, and it was too much. So I knew that I needed to reevaluate where I was at in life, and needed to really be real with where I was at with my emotions and not just escape. So what I did was take a step back and reevaluate and try to figure out what exactly I needed to do. The game plan was, came to a crossroads. I could either continue to fake everything online and live a completely different life in my own life, or I could choose to do something different. But I didn't know what that was, because everything was online. I didn't know how to live in real life, which is ridiculous to admit. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Until, aha, cue the angels. That's all I simply needed to do, was to break up with social media, forget about Facebook, forget about Twitter, and really start engaging in real life. So simple enough as that. I quit. Sounds like I smoke, but I don't. I started with Twitter one day at a time. It was really hard to not post everything that I was doing, and then eventually led to Facebook. This represents my childhood. I did grow up on a farm with nature, horses, animals, Clorinda, Emily, yes. Very basic, simple life. We didn't have internet, we didn't have cable. I didn't need a lot to be entertained. So how did I get to this place? So I took time to reflect. And I wanted to get back to that Jenni. I wanted to get back to the wholesome, pure, simple life. I didn't want to get all caught up in everything online. So I took time to get back with nature, you could say. And it was nice to not be in front of the computer all day long at night and whatnot. So you could say I saw the light. Kind of corny. And I did not take any of these pictures, by the way. I would love to say that I did, but just gorgeous. And that's simply all I needed to do, was just be aware of my surroundings and soak it all in. Other things that I did was I started a new retail job. I missed the human connection. I wanted to look people in the eye. I didn't want to just talk about your Twitter handle or Facebook or whatnot. I started a job at David's Bridal, which then I ended up falling in love with wedding dresses. I'll talk about that a little bit later. I started to talk to my family again. I didn't talk to my dad for months, just because he doesn't have Twitter Twitter or Facebook or know what internet is. It was ridiculous. So then, soon after, I saw a beautiful, rich life around me. And it's sad that it took me this to realize, but there is beauty everywhere. I would take my dog out at the middle of the night, 3 in the morning, and realize the stars around me, the flowers, the basic things in life I had been missing out for months. I did take a sabbatical, 7 months. If you check out my Twitter profile, you'll see there's a good 7-month gap. In that 7 months, like I said, David's bridal, I started and trained for a 5K, never ran. Laura, you'll present about that. The thing is, during those 7 months, you would never know what I did and the journey that I got through, because there's that gap. So the biggest thing I want you to walk away with tonight is life happens in between the tweets, in between the Facebook posts. There's so much more to life than online that you cannot capture that. One thing I did, like I said, was get back into nature. I took my dogs to the dog park, Gray's Lake, really soaking that in. And another fun event that took place, Anthony, ran into him at Gray's Lake last April. I'm very grateful for that opportunity because the first words out of his mouth were, "Where have you been? And are you ready to resurface?" And as Anthony would say, duh. Yes, I was ready to resurface. I was ready to work again. I hadn't talked to my friends for a good 7 months. I'm sure there's many of you in the room that could attest. Jeremy, I never called anyone back. It was ridiculous. So yes, happy to say I've been at Wells Fargo now for 7 months. Love my job and very grateful that I did take time to reevaluate my life and realize that there's more to life than just online, like I said. There is a rich, beautiful life all around us, and it is those moments that add up that got me to that place. I really encourage you to take a time out, whether it's a day, a week, a month, and just get out, talk to strangers. Try to say hi to people when you run into them. It's hard because everyone's online, doing all this, but it's a fun little game to try to actually connect with someone and say hi. I have realized that there is a beautiful family around me, and I thank you very much for welcoming me back with open arms. I've attended my first tweet up in a while, and actually have had a couple of modeling opportunities because of that for wedding dresses. So yes, thank you so much, and talk to you in real life.